What is going on, everyone? Welcome to G-Ball Vision. Today we have a new knife to check out, and this one's coming in from Jack Wolf Knives. While we're getting into this thing, let us know down in the comments what your EDC is for today. So I just took this thing out of the mailer and out of the box and can, and we'll take a look at all the extras here in a moment. And inside of our large microfiber cloth is going to be the new Diamondback Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. Now, this is a new variant for Jack Wolf Knives. Often he'll do something with the slip joint and then do the locking folder. And this is still a play off of a previous design, the Venom, but it's got its own namesake and it's got its own idea behind it. Now, I will have all the information on these linked down below in the description, different retailers, and the date and time. Just know that it is going to be in mid-March, which is when Jack Wolf initially releases these knives. We are looking at a perfectly centered up blade here. There are going to be several different variations of this knife that are available. I believe it is going to be 5 this time. You have the crystallized tie, the fat purple haze carbon fiber here, and then you have a black ice, a green micarta, and then I believe there's also an exclusive with a shipwreck camo carbon as well. So quite a few different options to choose from in regards to the finishes and materials that you can choose from. We are going to be looking at a mini fuller here and a front flipper for deployment. We have a bolster lock, and that is hidden very well beneath this carbon fiber scale. We have really nice jimping on that front flipper there and a nice snappy detent. We're going to be looking at S90V on this blade here and a beautiful belt satin finish. A couple of the other finishes that I remember are an acid wash. I believe there's a DLC belt satin, which that's the Kieranite Black Ice version. And then the crystallized tie, I believe, also has a belt satin. So a couple of different blade finishes and several different handle material options and finishes on the titanium handle. This one's going to have the traditional dark blast to it. Looks really good. And then we have satin or polished hardware to kind of match our blade. And I think that looks really good on the dark frame. The variations that Ben can do with the finishing touches on just the titanium alone, there are several options to go with. So on top of that, you have the inlays. I mean, just so many different variations, and I bet it's really hard to ultimately decide what he's going to do with what. Now, this is going to be a very flashy knife, if you will, because with the purple haze fat carbon fiber here, we have a matching purple titanium backspacer and a titanium clip. Now, I shouldn't say it's not going to be real loud. What I mean is it's going to be a little bit more popping. But there are much more subtle versions of this knife here, and there's a version or two that's a little louder as well. So I'd say this one's kind of right in the middle. It's got a little pizzazz to it, but it's not too loud. But I think it looks really good. It's not too overdone with the purple. We just have the mixture of the backspacer and clip with the carbon fiber scales, and everything else is going to be satin or dark blast. So it gives a good contrast all the way around. And you do have the option, you can take this off if you want to rock this without a pocket clip. He does send along a filler tab that matches the titanium here, I believe, or it might be anodized like the titanium here. Either which one, there is a filler tab that comes with it, and you can choose to pocket drop this thing or obviously put this in a slip. So what kind of size are we looking at with this fella here? We are going to be getting 3 inches of cutting edge, 3 3/8 of total blade, and she's coming down there at 7.5 strong. So a good size. We'll put up a couple of comparisons here so you have an idea, but it's going to be a little bit larger than the drop bear and it's going to also be a little bit larger than the Bug Out. The Bug Out and Diamondback have pretty close handle relation, but you get a little bit more blade here with the Diamondback, just a touch more. And I love that swell that goes to the butt end of the handle. That'll be very comfortable. And a couple of larger knives here. We have the Vostede Raccoon Bowie. Not real large, but bigger than the previous two. And then we have the Budget Kaiser Militao here. And you'll see this is more in line with that raccoon size, which is a great size. A lot of people really enjoy this size right here. So that's going to the Diamondback fit in with the majority of people. We'll see how this thing goes in and out of the pocket, check retention, and get a peek at what it looks like. Good retention over that initial ramp. It's going to carry like a standard one that's held in there by one Torx, and it's recessed into the titanium scales to prevent any side-to-side. So this is a perfect way of mounting a pocket clip. It keeps it looking very clean. I love how there's just a little bit poking out of the pocket, and that's going to allow you something to get a hold of in order to pull this out of the pocket. It makes it just a little bit easier, and on the way out, very good retention, even on this very thin microfiber cloth. So in normal pants pockets, this is going to be great. And I know that Ben added a little bit of height in here to accommodate for thicker seams. So there is that, which is a nice touch. I believe this is the second model that he's done that on. So there's going to be a lot more space underneath there, and I can attest to that, that will fit over, I would say, the majority of pants pockets, whether it's work pants or regular jeans. I think you are going to be good to go. Let's go ahead and we'll get a weight check on this. And these knives typically are not heavy, and they're not like, I guess they're pretty light, but they feel pretty good in hand for the size of these things. But it feels like you got a substantial tool, but it's not overly heavy. Boy. Let's say 3.3. Ooh, it's under 3. No kidding. Damn. Wasn't expecting that. So 80 grams and 2.8 ounces. Next item up on the docket is handle thickness, and we'll also check our blade here as well. Let's get a reading on the handle first, and we are looking at about 0.47 on our handle thickness there. We'll check our blade stock thickness, and we'll try to get the thickest part here. And coming in there right at 115. And that is going to thin out, guys and gals, to the tip here. Very, very thin. Going out to that tip down there around 12 thousandths. And this isn't meant for you to baton through logs or use as a step after you've nailed it into a tree. This is your everyday cutting tool, right? So we're coming down there around 12 thousandths in that particular spot, which is getting down there pretty damn thin. And then that full height hollow grind in S90V, that proper geometry, this thing is just going to cut and cut. I've said it time and time again. The combination of those couple of things, when these lose their fine edge, when they're done being razor hair shaving sharp, they continue to cut. So it's an awesome recipe. Yeah, I said it. An awesome recipe. Here we go, baby. Let's see what kind of edge we got out of the box here. This is probably my favorite design from Jack Wolf. As far as blade shape, handle, the Bionic is also like it's 1A, 1B. But this right here, if you're looking for an EDC knife, utility style knife, man, it's going to be a gem. You still have that pokey tip It is lower, but it is still going to poke. It's still going to pierce. If you're doing a lot of that all day long, Worn Cliffs maybe not the best blade shape for that, but for just routine poking and slashing or piercing and slicing type cuts, that tip is going to get the job done, no question about it. But I'm a huge proponent of Worn Cliffs, and there's a lot of people out there who, I'm a proponent of all blade shapes. That's, they all have a place. But I'm a big fan of Worn Cliffs. They provide a lot of utility, and that thing comes razor sharp out of the box. We have a very nice sharpening choil here. That is going to give us a ton of sharpenings, and it's also going to just be an awesome combo for edge retention. Now, I'm not going to beat on this one, but we are going to check this thing, make sure it's going to hold up to a couple of taps here. And I check all knives to see if they will pass or fail, just to see for myself, right? And this, I haven't had a Jack Wolf fail a lock test, so that is awesome to see. Even though this is a gent knife, a slicer knife, and could, not meant to be an abused knife, right? So it could be taken that some companies could take that as well. Then we don't really need to worry about making sure the lockup is, top priority. But in the case of all the locking Jack Wolfs I've owned, I have not had a single issue with lockup, and that's great. Not something I'd be real concerned with, as long as it's locking up when I flick it open and it stays locked up, right? This is going to be a phenomenal EDC knife right here. Great blade shape, great steel choice. It is fantastic looking. Man, comfortable. That swell to the butt end is just going to really be comfortable in the hand. You have that full length backspacer, which is just going to add more comfort in here. Everything is softened and chamfered down real nicely. It just feels like it's made for your hand, and you have the ability to choke up onto that flat area here, get in there real tight if you have some more controlled work you're doing. I mean, you can get up on the tip here for more precise cuts. You can come back here if you need a little bit of reach for whatever, and that is still going to be comfortable. So tons of different grips you can do with this knife. That's going to be very, very comfortable. All kinds. Almost every grip, this knife is going to be very, very comfortable. And so not only could you use this as a utility EDC, but you could use this in the garden. You could use this on your Friday night gas station fights if you'd like, defending those mashed potatoes. We have really good action. Front flipper is really nice. The little fullers work good there. Plenty of blades sticking out though, so you can just flick it out pretty much wherever you feel like, wherever your finger lands. My middle finger though happens to land right there, right at the cutout. So it just makes sense for me to flick it out there. Thumb flick, absolutely money. The way this is milled here and then it goes into this flat, you can just tuck your thumb in there real nice. This has a ting to it. Oh, man. Oh. Great closing action, and these break in. Good lockup. Centered. 25% on the lockup, plenty of break-in room. Man, yeah, just another home run. Nothing new here, but hell of a job from Ben and Jack Wolf. I know he puts a ton of time into these designs and the company itself. It's great to see that the hard work is paying off in the knives. You guys will have to let me know, what do you think of the new Diamondback Jack? I love hearing from you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That helps push the video out there to more people. If you're new to the channel here and you enjoy this type of content, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe because I release daily videos just like this. I'll put up a couple of new videos on your screen. Go check one of them out for me. Really helps me out. Have yourself an awesome day. I will catch you guys on the next one.